a vote real quick. So my question is, keeping it to yourself, what makes a better athlete? Is it being tall, or is it something else?
Something else.
Keep it to yourself, keep it to yourself. So if you think it's being tall, I want you to sit on this side of the room. If you think it's something else, I want you to sit on this side of the room. Doesn't matter. You guys think? If you think it's both, you can sit in the middle too.
Okay, I'm going in the middle. That's what I said.
All right. All right, take a seat.
The bottom. Yeah, like in basketball.
All right, keep it to yourself. All right, all eyes on me. All right. All right, I'm gonna read you guys. No, wait till everyone's sitting down. All right, I'm gonna read you one of my favorite books. This is called Salt in His Shoes, Michael Jordan in Pursuit of a Dream. It's written by Dolores Jordan, who's his mom, and with Rosalind M. Jordan. You guys ready?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael loved to play basketball. Every Saturday, he followed his older brothers, Larry and Ronnie, to the park, hoping they would let him play. And if one of the guys who usually played with them didn't show, they always did. But there was one problem. His name was Mark. And he was the tallest boy on the court. This is Mark right here. What's the matter, Mikey? Too short? Mark flapped his arms in Michael's face. Over here, shouted Larry. But when Michael threw the ball, Mark's long arms came out of nowhere and knocked the ball away. It flew into the hands of a player on Mark's team. He made the basket and the game was over, just like that. All right, so in the beginning, how would you describe Michael's play? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. What do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
He needs some.
Yeah, not really good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'm really sorry, guys. If I was taller, that wouldn't have happened. All the way home, Michael apologized, even though no one was mad at him. All right. Why do you think he's apologizing? Turn and talk to your neighbor for a second. Why is he All right, come back for a second. Who'd like to share? Raise your hand if you'd like to share. Yeah, no. Why do you apologize? All right, what's another?
He's apologizing because he decided that he didn't want to keep that short.
All right, yeah, that's a good one. Hold, keep that. His older brother Ronnie tried to cheer him up. Look, little brother, you played good today. Don't worry, we'll win the next time. When they got home, Michael went into the kitchen where Mama was cooking dinner. He was still disappointed, and she could tell. You guys lose again today, huh? Michael nodded. He sat quietly for a minute and then asked, Mama, how can I grow taller? All right. So you guys are going to vote again, except this time, you're going to think about what the character's thinking right now. So Michael's thinking, what do you think that he has to do to be a better basketball player? Is he has to be taller?
No.
What did he say right now?
And he got hands dribble.
Well, think about it right now. What did he think? What does he think right now that he has to do in order to be a better basketball player? Yeah. Grow tall. So we're gonna go to the grow tall side.
He needs dribble.
So everyone move over.
Or it could be that side.
But that's what he's thinking right now.
Done.
All right. You guys see?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Mama knew the answer to a lot of questions, but this was a tough one. She thought for a moment as she sprinkled salt and pepper on the chicken she was making for dinner. Then she smiled, looked at Michael, and said, "Salt." Salt? Michael looked at his mama. Salt in your shoes. We put salt in your shoes and say a prayer every night before you know it, you'll be taller, she replied. So what is her advice to Michael?
Put salt in his shoes.
Raise your hand.
And make them
Yeah, Giselle. And become what?
taller. He's gonna become taller because when he gets salt in his feet, then he's gonna be
I
packed
think
down.
his feet go with this.
Salt in my shoes, Michael said quietly to himself. Surely Mama was teasing. He sat staring out of the window, trying to figure out how salt was going to help him grow. He noticed the rose bushes outside of Mama's garden. They had grown high along the fence, and roses of all colors were blooming on the vines, he thought to himself. I remember when Mama first planted those bushes. Michael's face lit up. If Mama knows how to make those rose bushes grow taller, then maybe she's right. Maybe salt in my shoes really will help me grow. Growing more excited, Michael twirled around and started asking a lot of questions. Mama, how long will it take? And how tall do you think I'll get? Smiling, Mama sat down next to him and explained. In order for this to work, the most important things you have to do are be patient and listen to what I tell you and say your prayers every night. Listening carefully, Michael shook his head. Okay, Mama, I'll be patient, but what does saying my prayers have to do with it? Everything, Mama replied, and she hugged him. Now go wash up and tell your brothers and sisters to get ready for dinner.
Okay.
Michael dashed out of the kitchen, almost knocking over his father, who was walking in. What's he up to now, said Daddy. All the usual, said Mama, chasing a drink.
Isn't it almost like
Later during dinner, Mama noticed that Michael was barely eating anything. He was already daydreaming about being taller. Michael, first things first, you won't grow if you don't eat, especially your vegetables, said Mama. But I'm not really hungry, he said. Raising her eyebrows, Mama gave him a stern look. Slowly, Michael picked up his fork and began to eat. Minutes later, his plate was clean and he was asking for more. That evening at bedtime, Michael set his favorite game shoes on the floor next to the growth chart hanging on the wall. Then he put on his pajamas, said his prayers, and jumped into bed. You guys see that?
I see that goes chart. That'd be what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be.
When Mama came in, Michael was fast asleep. By the look on his face, she could tell he was already playing basketball in his dreams. Standing by his bed, Mama sprinkled salt in his shoes, and then she prayed quietly over him as she did all the other children.
Oh, he wanted to get 6 feet tall.
Dear God, please help Michael to be the best he can be and to give his best in all he does. And Lord, could you just please make him a little bit taller tomorrow than he is today? Thank you. Amen. After that night, Michael wore his favorite game shoes everywhere he went, even to church. See? At the top of the picture, they're in church, and he's sitting in there with his favorite basketball shoes.
I see shoes. I don't see it. So bad. The only shoes that aren't matching.
Yep. And he stopped going to the park with his brothers on Saturdays. Instead, he stayed home and practiced. He wanted to grow a few more inches before he went back to the park. All right, turn and talk to someone. Why do you think he stopped going to the park? Why do you think that? All right, I'm gonna pick 3 people. 3 volunteers. Corey, what do you think? Okay, 2 more. Yeah, you do. Else you thought? All right, yeah. What do you think? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, those are all good reasons. So he's practicing. Do you guys see that he's practicing down here?
You look trash.
All right. After 2 months of practicing and waiting patiently and praying, Michael stood next to the growth chart on his wall. Nothing. He hadn't grown an inch. He was disappointed, but he didn't stop believing. I just got to give it time, like Mama said. Michael thought to himself, and that's what he did. Two more months of practicing went by and still nothing. Now Michael was becoming a little sad. Not only had he not grown 1 inch, but he also missed playing basketball with Larry and Ronnie.
He better go.
About the only thing he didn't miss was being picked on by Mark. When the next Saturday came, his brothers tried to get Michael to go with them to the park, but he wouldn't budge. Mama had begun to worry. When she saw Michael sitting alone on the steps, she said to Daddy, "Maybe you should go out and talk to her." So Daddy went out and sat with Michael.